actually want to.
All right.
I'm
Good
thinking
evening,
about it.
friends. Coming to you from 121. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about what to expect on the Chapter 2 exam.
Everyone.
So the breakdown of the exam is going to be the same as the last one. You have a section of listening, you have a section of reading, comprehension, then you have to do a writing, and then a grammar sample. So when we talk about the vocabulary is going to include everything from health and wellness, body, and then accidents in hospital. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about what potentially the essay. And the essay, when I say that, is always going to be it's going to be an email. So what would you anticipate potentially an email being about?
About your friend who fell off the bike.
Maybe about a friend who had an accident,
Maybe it's about your body parts.
About your body parts.
As I recall, it is not that.
About your body parts?
I don't think so.
Maybe you're
It
asking
could be,
someone- oh.
if I were to guess, it would either be about an accident, which we've had a lot of practice with, or it would be talking about how you stay healthy. Okay? Maybe talking about your routine and how you stay healthy.
Which one do you think it'll be?
It's hard to say.
Which one do you think, though?
Now, let's review. In an email, if you are writing it to a friend or somebody that is conocido, how would we address that? Querido. Querido, which means dear. Okay? But the good news is that's how you would also address it to somebody who is desconocido, somebody who is unknown. So if you are trying to be more formal in an email, like you are writing to a doctor, you're writing to a teacher, you can still use querido. To end an email or a letter to a friend, you could keep it very simple and say something like adios, de, nos vemos, something like that. But if you are trying to be more formal, how would we formally end a letter to somebody?
Con tu amigo, Jesus.
Con cariño. We did talk about that. That would be more. That would be more of.
Oh, con simpatica.
No, we could say something. We could still use de.
Yours truly.
We'll keep it simple. We'll just keep it with de. Yes.
Day is informal?
From.
Just from.
Okay. We also discussed some of our transition words that we use in writing, and those include words such as entonces,
Proximo.
próximo, because we use them over and over again. Cuando, primero. Anything else? También, awesome. También. These are good ones to have. So entonces means then, próximo means next, cuando means when, primero means first, and también means also. Great words to have when you're writing an email. Okay, and it's going to make it a lot easier for you to do a writing sample. So this is one area that you can be really well prepared, as long as you know your vocabulary and you are familiar with some things to put in an essay or to put into a letter, you're set. But when we are talking about an accident, a lot of times that is in the past, that is in the preterite. Okay, so let's just review the preterite. Simply, if it is an AR verb, the endings are now e con accente, aste, o con accente, amos, and aron. IR verbs would be con accente, iste, yo con accente, imos, hieron. With lots and lots and lots of irregulars. Lots of irregulars. Okay. Now the very last thing we want to be super familiar with is our use of subjunctive. And we now have two reasons to use subjunctive. Our number one reason to use it is with want, querer, or a want. which looks like this. Quiero, quieres, quiere, queremos, and quieren. The number 2 reason we now use it is for what?
Impersonal expression.
Thank you. Impersonal expressions. Can you give me some examples of impersonal expressions?
It is important.
Es necesario que. Can you give me another one? Es posible que.
Es necesario.
Ah, that's one that's here.
Dang it.
Es mejor que.
Es no bueno que.
Yep. No es necesario. Okay, good. These can all be made too. Negative 2. The other thing besides a want or an impersonal expression you have to have is a switch
Subject.
in subject. And finally the word que. Okay? So when we are actually forming the subjunctive, we word things a little bit differently. For example, they would say in Spanish, I want that you go to school. Okay? Or they might say, it is necessary that you go to school. Okay? But forming the subjunctive is a little bit different. We've seen something very similar to it, but now we've been introduced to all the forms. So in order to form the subjunctive, the number 1 rule is you put the verb in the yo. You drop the and you switch the ending. So now if it's an AR verb, the ending is es, hemos, en. And if it is an ER verb or an IR verb, the ending is now a, as, a, amos, an. Okay? Now the yo form is really crucial for verbs like
Tener.
tener, which becomes tango. Or what else? Salir, which becomes salgo. Poner, which becomes pongo. Those are really good examples. Or ver, which becomes veil. What are the 5 irregulars that we see? Ir, estar, ser, dar, and saber. We will start with just the yo form, because you can build it from there. So ir becomes vaya, and so on and so forth. Estar becomes este, ser becomes sea, dar becomes de, and saber becomes sepa, and then they continue through. So in our first example, when it says, I want that you go to school, which one of these words is going to be subjunctive? You go. This is going to be your subjunctive, okay? Because we have a want, we have a que, and we have a switch in subject. So in Spanish, this sounds like what? Quiero que vayas. Be careful because it's you, a la escuela. Let's change that up a little bit. It is necessary that you go to school. Yes. Es necesario que, and once again, you go is your subjunctive. What does that sound like? Vayas. A la escuela. And the question is, where's the switch in subject here? It is you go. So in the first part of the sentence, the subject is it. In the second part of the sentence, the subject is you. Yep. It does not have to be a person. It is still a subject. Subject does not always have to be a person. So like a chair could be your second subject. Like it is necessary that the chair is pushed in. So the chair pushed in is your second subject. All right? No. You will not have to determine at this time whether something needs to be subjunctive. But what my expectation will be is I will start a sentence and you have to finish it. But I will give you the verb. For example, it would look like something like this. Es posible que yo, and then I would give you a verb such as hacer, and then you use that verb to finish the sentence. Will Mrs. Hazard accept if you just put the verb hacer and you're done?
No, she
I
won't.
will not.
I tried that.
You have to create a full sentence. So this says it is possible that I, and now I have to make a sentence, I have to finish a sentence using hacer. The first thing I have to do is put hacer in the subjunctive. What would it become? Haga. And what could I say with this?
Cookies.
Let's think about this chapter. Let's think of ejercicios or planchas. Ejercicios or haga planchas. Okay, it's possible that I do hacer is to make or to do.
Does it have to be from this chapter on the test?